What's up, my dudes? We got us a little paid promotional video on This Is Motocross. This is a free mobile motocross game on the App Store or Android. All you got to do is type in This Is Motocross or TIMX and you'll find it. Completely free game, okay? Just a fun little game to play while you're sitting on the shitter, sitting in the bed. You know what it is, dog. You know, you got that big tea sipping, big tea dripping over there on the side, and you just chilling, hanging out. It is honestly, a really fun mobile motocross game to play like that. So, I shit you not, I added it up, and there is a total of 64 different tricks you can do in this game. 64! And that's not counting all the different scrub options, all the different whip animations, and the 360. If you counted all that, it would literally be like 70 different things you can do in the air on the bike. It's insane, dog. So each one of these little T2, T3, T4, all the way to T8, all those little options, you click on those, and then you can move your sort of thumbstick that's on the screen in any one of the different directions, and it's going to do a different trick, right? So you have a whole different trick set of like 8 different tricks in each one of those different categories, right? So it's like literally 8 different tricks in each one of those, which equals 64 different tricks you can do. Oh my God. There is no other freestyle mobile motocross game that has this kind of depth to it. There just isn't, man. You can hold the button down to extend the trick, right? Or you can just barely push it and it's just barely going to do it. So it's got that kind of whole combination. Some of the tricks seem to have a little bit of a longer animation to them. So you got to kind of think about what kind of trick you're going to do depending on what size jump you're on, or you're going to pop off the bike, right? So it's got that whole kind of depth to it. Oh my God, bro. For a free mobile motocross game this is not just a freestyle game, okay? This has freestyle on top of the motocross and the supercross and the racing multiplayer and the customization. It's on top of all that. Most mobile motocross games would just have just the freestyle of what This Is Motocross has. It wouldn't have everything else to it. You see what I mean? So that's a really cool thing about it. It's got all those elements into it. 64 tricks. 70 if you want to count all the different scrub and whip and 360 animations. Oh my God. Like, that is astronomical for a free mobile motocross game. It's insane. Like, holy crap, I did not realize that this game had this much to the freestyle. It doesn't even seem possible in a mobile motocross game. It's insanity, dude. But one interesting thing about it is, and the thing that I feel like is really separating it from a lot of these other, little mobile motocross games that might have one cool element to them, right? They might have like cool side-by-side competitive racing. One might have some other cool element to it or whatever. But with This Is Motocross specifically, they really are seeming to be pulling together all of the different elements that you would have in a full-blown, like, MX versus ATV AAA kind of motocross game, right? Seems like they're really trying to pull all that together here into one, and that's a really cool aspect of it because it has multiplayer head-to-head racing, it has single-player practice, it has motocross, supercross, and freestyle, which is all completely 3 separate things in the game, right? With separate tracks for each of them. You've got a full trick system. You've got whips, scrubs, 360s, a whole set of tricks you can do. You've got a wheelie and a stoppie system. Obviously, a leaning system. Damn near pert near a huck system in the air on some of the jumps, depending on how you're leaning on the back wheel. It's got a lot to it, right? So this whole freestyle thing is really cool to see in the game because they so easily could have just left this out, right? They so easily could have just been like, we don't really have to have that, right? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and act like I'm some big freestyle guy in these different motocross games. It's not necessarily the first thing I would go to, but it's always so cool to have that extra content, no matter if it's an arcade motocross game, AAA motocross game, indie developer mobile motocross game. You know what I mean? It's always fun to have that extra thing when you're just wanting to go chill ride on something. You just want to go throw some backflips, test out the trick system. That's what's so fun about it. And so this is a really cool element. Another one of those humongous motocross gaming chunk features that has been put into This Is Motocross, okay? This is a small development team. Go help these guys out. These boys are just trying to get off the ground. They're just trying to get their game going. They're putting a lot of effort into it. I think the dude told me they have 3 developers working on the game, literally 3. So what they've been able to create here is pretty freaking awesome. And the fact that it is free and it's not super locked behind any kind of paywall or some weird, it's free, but then you got to pay to do anything in the game. It's not like that. You can play the game and earn the coins inside of the game. It's not some weird little get rich quick scheme, some little bullshit. You know what I mean? It doesn't even feel like that when you get into it, because you can earn all the coins, all that kind of stuff just from playing the game, right? So, but with the freestyle in particular here, what makes it really cool is, you've got this whole system of jumping and leaning with the actual, you've got 2 buttons for your lean forward and lean back, right? Then you have your throttle, obviously. Then you have a scrub or a whip system that you're it's like a slider on one side, right? Then you have the whole trick side of the game that's basically a little thumbstick type thing on the screen that you can point in multiple different directions to make your dude do a trick in the air, right? So, and all those things can be combined in any kind of way. That's what makes it really cool, right? So you can jump in the air, do a backflip, which takes a little bit of coherent, movement, figuring out what you're doing just to be able to do that properly. But then you have to take your thumb off of the leaning to then, or off of the throttle, whatever side, right? And you've got to be able to flick it up to do the trick, right? So then you got to be able to do the trick, get your hand back where it was, get your dude. It's almost like your guy is letting off of the handlebars in a sense, and then getting himself back on the handlebars when you have to let your thumb off of the leaning, right? So it has a really cool element of, you can do a lot of different things, and there is at least a little bit of challenge to it, at least a little bit of, mechanical functionality to actually do tricks and achieve it and be able to try to do it on a jump without then over jumping the jump or popping off or landing upside down, or you know what I mean? There's a lot to it when it comes to that. So that's an aspect that makes it really cool, but there's a lot of tricks in the game. You can unlock tricks. It's got a foam pit in the game. You can test tricks out, then you can take them to dirt. Then they also have these full-blown freestyle courses on all these different kind of biomes like you would expect with these standard motocross and supercross tracks in the game. So that's another cool aspect to it. You got some metal ramps, you got some dirt ramps, and you can do cool shit like come off a jump, throw a scrub, do a trick, then do a backflip, all in the same. I mean, you really can do some crazy shit that you would not expect to be able to do, right? You can do a lot of stuff like that. You can do one trick, then another trick. You can front flip with the trick. You know what I mean? You can whip with the trick, 360 trick, backflip. I mean, it's you can do a lot of shit. There's a lot of combinations to it. And for a free mobile motocross game, come on, bro. This shit's pretty impressive. I mean, scrub, whip, not just a whip system, not just a scrub system. You have multiple different kinds of scrubs and whips you can unlock. You got turn up whips, turn back whips, normal whips, opposite whips, upside down whips, flip over whips, sideways scrubs. I mean, you got everything. You got 360s. You've got all these different kind of tricks, all your standard tricks that you'd expect in a freestyle experience, right? Got all this different stuff in there. I mean, man, I'm being dead serious when I say this shit is legit for a mobile motocross game. It is legit, bro. Go download this. It's a free game. This is Motocross on the App Store. The freestyle aspect is just another chunk of the game that's on top of the motocross racing, on top of the supercross racing, and both of those feel very different from one another. And then the freestyle is really cool because it has its own personal tracks with its own personal, metal ramps and everything else. So it feels cool. There's just a lot of things you can do with like chaining together in you have a head-to-head mode in the freestyle as well, right? So then you can get rated on all these different aspects of the freestyle run. So there is a multiplayer head-to-head freestyle mode as well, right? So that's in there. So that's a cool aspect to the game. Every aspect of it has a multiplayer component to it if you want to go down that road, right? Yeah, you can just go in there and fart around and throw scrubs on a motocross track, or just mess around on one of the supercross tracks, try to learn the rhythms and learn how to huck the bike and stuff, or get on the back wheel and really pop up over a jump. Or you can go in there and actually race people. You can just test your backflips and tricks and shit in the foam pit, or you can actually go in there and do freestyle, 1v1 freestyle course runs, right? You can go in there and multiplayer race. So that it's got a lot of stuff to do in it for a free mobile motocross game, For that side view Excite Bike style, it's got full-blown customization. You can color every single aspect of the bike. It's got gear customization like you would expect in a AAA style, like MX versus ATV console game, right? With being able to customize your helmet, gear, boots, gloves, goggles, all that kind of shit. I mean, it really is like a full-blown AAA Excite Bike level, but for mobile type game, right? That's the way I would explain this game. But it's free, completely free. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.